Hey everybody, it's Aluna Michaels, Esoteric and Quantum Astrologer, coming to talk to you about the events of February 2017. And let's see, where are we going to start? I'd like to start at the end of the month, but I will resist that temptation. Okay, one of the things that's going on is the planet Jupiter. Let's even say this first, that Mars went into Aries the last few days of January, and Venus goes into Aries too, one of the first few days of February. It's February 4th, 3rd or 4th. And that's really nice. You know, Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. Mars is your gumption. Mars is a 2-year orbit, so it's a fresh take on your talents. It's sexy. It feels capable of things. It's almost like a New Year feeling, like a Chinese New Year feeling. Because that's right when the Chinese New Year is, when Mars went into Aries. So it's this fresh feeling of I can accomplish my goals, I can set my goals, I can make it happen, even if I had failures in the past. I'm going forward. So it's a lot of sense of inspiration. And Venus too is that, because the sense of self-love and a sense that you're in it with everybody, or the universe is behind you. You know, Venus is that sense of feeling safe, and you just know you're on the right track and you're protected and things like that. So for Venus and Mars to be close together like that in Aries is like, yeah, I can do it, and you're kind of your own cheerleader and things like that. And also other people can help you, cheerlead other people and they cheerlead you. But also it's a great time to start new relationships or to renew your relationship, Aries, even though Aries can be temperamental, it's also very, forgive and forget. Aries is so in the moment, it's just like if it's irritated, it just lets it go. It's like, carpe diem, or let's start fresh, that kind of idea of, don't go to bed angry. Aries wants to start the new day with an open heart. So a new relationship can begin where you're not bringing your baggage forward, or you're in a current relationship where you're both able to just let the past go and see each other with new eyes. And that even can be pretending you're on a first date when you go out, where you don't criticize the person, or when you have built up resentments in a relationship, you can pick at them in a way you wouldn't in the beginning. And to be able to give that person the gift of being seen that way is a wonderful Venus, Mars, and Aries exercise. And even yourself, like looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking, you're pretty nice, right? So if someone meets you, what a nice person, instead of, oh, that person has lines around their eyes, or their hair is something, or they're probably, failed on their diet, or somebody meeting you isn't going to see that, say that to you, or think it, or perceive it. So if you can look in the mirror and perceive someone's meeting you and they like you, so you can meet yourself in a way that you just innocently accept yourself and enthusiastically accept yourself, because those are Aries, best parts of Aries. So let's work on that in the beginning of the month. Also, the planet Jupiter will retrograde. Now, all the planets except the Sun and Moon retrograde. The outer planets, let's just say for our purposes here, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they'll retrograde once a year and go direct once a year. So some people say, oh, something's always retrograde. But yeah, something always is. With the outer planets, it tends to be more when they turn retrograde rather than this whole time it's retrograde, because that'll be all our lives, or if taking everybody's retrograde at some point. So just when Jupiter turns retrograde on February 6th, you can be meditating on certain goals. Jupiter is about goals, often spiritual goals. About what is the most important to you. What have you accomplished? And this again can be this idea of looking at yourself in the mirror when you're meditating, and maybe even making a commitment to write gratitude lists every day. I have a friend who says anytime she thinks a negative thought, she tries to put 3 positive thoughts in its place instead of just 1 positive thought. Jupiter's that sense of overdoing it in a good way. And again, because Jupiter is retrograding in Libra, this can have to do with your relationships again, or how you are in a relationship, or the idea of, does love exist if you're single, or even in a relationship? Oh, this isn't what it's cracked up to be. Which brings us to Valentine's Day, because we're moving up to that as Jupiter goes retrograde. So to really think about the most positive relationship you can have, and how that could be manifesting in your life, either in your current relationship or someone in the future. Maybe thinking of models of people who had healthy marriages or healthy relationships, that it is possible. Jupiter retrograde can also help you, because it's in Libra, about cooperation versus codependence. Because Libra is the balance of each person's needs while still retaining an identity. Because the opposite of Libra is Aries. It's like, this is me, this is how it is. And Libra's like, oh, that's you, so it'll be this way. So Libra kind of contains that identity part of Aries, but lifts it to a sense of cooperation, but not supposed to be, oh, you get your needs met, I never get mine met. So the Jupiter retrograde can ponder and kind of cook up a new plan about how relationships are a win-win situation. So thinking of, and part of that can be just letting go of the past and forgiving the past, or needing to speak up about something and create a new plan about how you operate together. And that can be, sometimes with Libra, they don't speak up about what they want. So there's unwritten codes kind of things. So Jupiter retrograding Libra can be saying, hey, did you realize that this hurts my feelings, or that I feel this way when this happens? Oh, I didn't realize that. Like, say somebody's watching football and you feel ignored. And it's like, maybe the person says, during the commercials, I could turn the volume down and we could talk in commercials because I really love to watch football. So you each get your needs met, and you could, read a book during the game part, and then you guys talk during the commercial instead of the, commercials blaring or something. So that could be a way that the person didn't know you felt ignored, and then you feel more resentful, the game's going overtime, whatever, Sunday, we're not doing it. At least we can say, hey, it is really important to me, so let's really connect in those commercials, but you're doing that ahead of time and making that plan instead of having this unwritten code. They should turn those commercials off because they know I'm feeling so bad, So the Jupiter retrograde, again, while Mars and Venus are in Aries, can really improve relationships like that, because it's upfront and gently confrontational to say, hey, here's my need, here's yours, what can we do to make them both work, or maybe, you cook a special dinner during the game, and then after the game's over, you have this really delightful candlelight dinner. So, again, both people getting needs met in some way. So just those kind of creative ideas can come up during meditation with the Jupiter retrograde. For those of you who want to know, Jupiter will stay retrograde till early June. Jupiter retrograde can also be thinking about how you deal with money and finances, and this can go also back to the Venus and Mars in Aries, which wants to look squarely at money and see what's going on with this. And Jupiter retrograde can say, how can I use my money better? What are habits I need to let go of about finances? Especially when it's concerned with loneliness in relationships or being unseen, unrecognized. People can overspend or, get controlling around money even or something, but mostly it's overspending when we're dealing with Libra and Jupiter. So that can be something too. Now, around the same time Jupiter retrogrades, which is like, what did I say, the 6th of February? Oops, sorry, I should have put my phone in the other room. We are going to have a full moon, and that is on the 11th. Of course, the sun's in Aquarius, the moon's in Leo. So that Leo moon is going to sextile, which is a 60-degree angle. It sextiles Jupiter. It trines, that means being in the same elements. We've got a moon in Leo and Saturn in Sagittarius. So the full moon will trine the Saturn, and full moon also trines Uranus, which is also in Aries. So we've got that full moon doing all that great stuff, and this really can be, that's where I think with the Jupiter retrograde at the same time, as you're beginning new things with the Aries stuff, you're assessing what you really have done so you can build on that success. When you see how, you have made some shifts, and a lot of real true personal spiritual growth is foundational. So it can be so internal, someone might not see the results of it, but it's like, planting a crop, and you go through all that work tilling the soil and putting the seeds in. You did a lot of work, but it's not showing yet. So that could be this idea that you're seeing how much you have done and what is going to come in the future because of what you've done on this real basic fundamental level. So that full moon is the closure of things, and even if you're not seeing results yet, that you did do these actions that are going to yield results as you stick to it, because you do need to water the fields and if you're, having a crop. So you want to pay attention to what you've done so it yields. But you don't think, oh, I did all that work and nothing happened. You think, I trust that nature now is going to take its course and will grow. So you've done that internal work and it's coming forward. So that full moon can show the closure of work you've done, but the hopefulness and even seeing some sprouts. With the Saturn gives you the patience, the Jupiter gives you the optimism, and Uranus is like, ooh, that's coming up faster than I thought. And the gratitude is the way you're watering that lawn and even visualizing the future and holding the hope. Because every day you say, wow, that's going to be all this, cornfield or a, vineyard or whatever you're planting. So that full moon can help you with that. Now, we want to talk about the eclipse that's happening on the 27th, 28th. We've got a new moon eclipse in Pisces at 8 degrees. At the beginning of September, we had another new moon eclipse that was in Virgo opposite it, the one that we're going to have in February. It also mirrors, we had that Mars and Saturn stuff that went on all through 2016. So the eclipses can bring up some fears, but can also bring up visualization. So even more of this idea that look at all that hard work I did in 2016 to root out the weeds and to plant the seeds and everything. And you can really start to see some results at the end of February. Here's another piece to this when we have that eclipse, because, Pisces can be fear or it's faith. So when we have that new moon in Pisces, because, eclipses are like where did the moon go? Where did the sun go? Kind of thing. So it brings up a primal fear, but it's also a sense that you almost like, do you remember Etch-a-Sketch? When you had that toy and you twisted little things and the lines went all over, and then when you're done with the picture, you shook it and you started again. So an eclipse can kind of be like we're really getting rid of that subconscious crap, but if you're attached to the subconscious crap, it's like, I'm becoming nothing, but really you want to get rid of it anyway. But now you're starting fresh, and what you are starting with is those foundational pieces that are really valuable. So you get if you get the weeds out, you say, oh, nothing's growing in the yard, but what was growing was all crappy. And you're left with healthy soil and maybe one or two healthy plants. So the eclipse can kind of wipe things out, and to have that faith of Pisces, it's like, oh my God, this is such a fresh beginning, and look at all that's coming forward, and look, you really start to see those little seedlings coming up. And then you're seeing them as you see a seedlings. You can know if you're a farmer, it's going to look like this, So Pisces can be that vision of the future rather than, The trick is that there's a few planets doing some stuff in Aries at the time. That after the eclipse, we're going to have, the Aries moon. Also want to say that the eclipse is near Neptune, which rules Pisces, so it gives even more that visionary quality or fearful quality. So when we get to the end of the month, and we've got now the last day of February, the moon moving into Aries, Mars is in Aries, also conjuncting Uranus. So that's edgy. It can also be, I'm going to do it. No matter what, I'm going over my limitations. I'm doing it. But it can also be, if you're anxious about what you're losing, you can be fearful of what's happening, and people can lash out at you, you lash out at other people, you're picking on yourself. So we don't want angry Mars and out of control Uranus, and the moon is emotions. So we want after that eclipse to say, to stop the negative thoughts, to stop the automatic programming that could come up after an eclipse. Say, no, I'm a fresh person, I'm a new person, I'm not doing that. Have the humility to apologize if you lost your temper with somebody, or even to yourself, you picked on yourself, you had a bad day, whatever, because those eclipses are a little bit raw after a month or so. A week or so, they kind of echo. So you just want to be gentle with yourself, cut some other people some slack. They might not have done as much internal work and they're edgy because that eclipse freaked them out, even though you did great through it. So just be patient with other people in your world, or you encounter even randomly at Walgreens or something. So just know people could be edgy. People could drive aggressive or just be temperamental. So just sort of be patient with everybody through that, and have some compassion for the people that feel like the rug's been pulled out from under them and they don't have any floor underneath or something, where there is a floor, there is a foundation. So just be gentle with those people and gentle with yourself. But it can be a very exciting energy after an eclipse, because it's like, yes, like all that crap's gone and I'm ready to rock, which brings us back to that same feeling at the beginning of the month. So enjoy your February. I'll see you in March. And if you want an appointment with me, you can always call my cell phone, 248-583-1663, or go on my website, alunamichaels.com. And I also have my little ebook on there on my website. And well, bye for now.